Hey everyone, welcome back to yet again another Beast of Mesozoic Tyrannosaur Series 2 review. Today we're taking a look at one of the smaller figures in the series, the Proceratosaurus. This is a figure that probably had the most drastic change from concept art to actual product, but we'll go over that a little bit later. This figure retails for $39.99. It is currently available on Creative Beast Studios website, and the link to that is down below in the description. So let's go over the package really quick before we crack open this tiny little terror with this beautiful Proceratosaurus artwork on the front of the box. Looking right here, holding his little mammal friend. Just take him on a nice leisurely stroll through the forest. We have the Beast of Mesozoic logo up here. Proceratosaurus, Tyrannosaur series down here. Spinning around. Nice product shot of the Proceratosaurus along with the other figures available in this wave. Plus some information about Proceratosaurus. So that will do it for the packaging. Let's crack this open and take a closer look. And here is the Proceratosaurus the packaging. And like I said many times during these reviews, these smaller Tyrannosaur figures are an absolute joy to play around with. They're just so versatile, and they're the cheapest of the line. They're around $40, and they're a great entry-level figure to get into the Tyrannosaur series. If you're a little sticker shocked by the price of the larger figures. Now this Proceratosaurus actually went through a color design change early on in the prototype phase. It was originally going to be based off the Bali Minor bird, which had a very white, icy tone to it. Later on, it got changed to this much more naturalistic tone with all these nice browns to really make this figure look more natural. I was fine with either color scheme, but I have to say, once in hand, this more naturalistic color scheme definitely does this figure a lot of justice. Now, Proceratosaurus is one of the oldest dinosaurs related to Tyrannosaurus rex. When the skull was found, only the front part of that crest is on the skull. It looked like a little bit of a nose horn, but now it's been deduced that it's most likely part of a larger crest. And speaking of the crest, the paintwork on the crest came out really, really nice. I just love that black, orange, and blue on there. Really makes the crest on this figure pop. All around this figure is just absolutely fantastic from head to toe. Like I said, they're just a ton of fun to play around with. And now for some measurements, this figure is 8 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, or 20.3 centimeters, and between 3.5 inches tall, depending on how you have the figure position, or 7.6 centimeters. So Proceratosaurus in real life was around 13.1 feet long, or 4 meters. So I'll put this figure nicely in that 1/19 scale range. And just like all figures in the Beast of Mesozoic series, you do get this beautiful collector card featuring that artwork that's on the packaging. You see Proceratosaurus giving this cute little mammal a nice hug. Proceratosaurus was known for being very compassionate and loving species. And on the back, you do have some information about Proceratosaurus. And let's take a quick look at all the accessories that come with this figure, starting with the display base. You do get this really nice base. It's the same base that comes with Susquityrannus and Dilong. Each one's painted differently. This one features a nice woodland deco. You have all nice moss and grass painted, roots and logs, and lots of gray rocks, lots of nice paint apps on here. The underside is hollow, and it does make me miss the days of the Raptor series when there was a way to store the extra feet underneath the bases. I have to store all these accessories in Ziploc bags with their collector cards, so I know what pieces belong to what figures. And then right here, you do have this nice acrylic support rod. It's a nice snug fit. Once in a while, you get a loose one, and all you need to do is coat this ball joint right here with a couple coats of clear nail polish, and it should tighten it up for you. And up here we do have the support rod for the figure. I like using this piece better. It provides a lot of support for the figure since it's a lot wider. And you do get this one right here that is a little bit smaller. It works okay. I prefer using the other one much better. And then over here you do get a couple pairs of different feet. These are the closed toe feet. They are nicely detailed. They are very, very tiny and super easy to lose. And here is a pair of the walking toe feet. And now let's zoom in and take a look at some of the finer details, starting with this beautiful head sculpt. Just love how the crest came out on here. Like I said earlier, it was originally thought Proceratosaurus had a horn, hence the name, named after Ceratosaurus, but it is now believed that it had this nice, huge head crest, and the head crest is beautifully painted. You have a nice transition of orange and yellows, a little splash of blue and black to make all that crest pop. It has a nice glossy coat to give it that carotene coated look. The eye is painted red with a black pupil. You can see the nostril sculpted right here. And opening up the mouth, we have a nice, like almost a deep purple coloration for inside the mouth. And that is all done with some nice glossy paint. You can see the teeth painted right here and on the roof of the mouth to give it that nice lipless look. You have a nice white coloration for most of the body, and it has this nice transition of dark to light brown, which gives it a very nice natural look. You have a tuft of feathers on the back of the head. All the feathers are beautifully sculpted on this figure, going down to the arms. The arms are also nicely sculpted inside the palms, having darker coloration, the contrast with that white. The hand claws are painted in a glossy black paint, and then going down to the legs. Legs are also nicely sculpted, and then we get to just below the kneecap. It transitions into these beautiful looking scales. The toe claws are also painted in that glossy black paint. Here's a view of the figure from the top, and then here's a view from the underside. And then going down to the tail, you have this nice banded pattern with all this dark brown and black and some really nice plumage at the end of the tail. So yeah, all around this figure is an absolute blast to play around with. I think the head sculpt really makes this figure shine. Now for articulation, the articulation is really good on these smaller figures. Much more fun to mess around with than the larger Tyrannosaur figures. Mouth can open up that far, can close completely flush. You do have rotation on the head joint, up and down movement. You have the neck joint right here. You get some downwards and upwards movement, and you can get some nice side to side with both those joints. I noticed the head joint on mine is a little bit loose. When I push it too far, it does pop off, but it does easily pop back on. I don't know if that's just mine or if it's just an issue with the figure as a whole. Going down to the arms, you get forwards and backwards movement, and you can swing the arms out just a little bit. You get nice, about 90 degrees of bend on the elbow joint. Wrists can move inwards and outwards, and they can rotate 360 degrees. You do have a torso articulation. The foot just fell off this thing. You do get some nice side to side and upwards and downwards movement on that joint. For the legs, forwards and backwards. Legs can extend that far, and they can bend. Joints are really tight on this figure, and I've had it for a while. I've been playing with it for a lot, but that's how much bend you're going to get on the knee. You get a little bit of articulation on that ankle joint, and the feet can move upwards, downwards, and rotate. And going down to the tail, you get some side to side, up and down, and the whole tail piece is cast in a flexible rubber wire, so you can get some nice poses with that wire. So all around, the articulation on these little figures, like I say, are just a joy. They're a lot of fun to play around with. Moving on with comparisons, first up here it is with the Hammond Collection Robert Muldoon. These 3 3/4 inch figures are around 1/18 scale, so they work very nicely with the Beast of the Mesozoic figures. And let's do a couple of the other smaller feathered Tyrannosaur figures. We have Die Long, and over here is its wave mate, the Susky Tyrannus. And let's do one more feathered BoTM figure. Here it is with the 1/18 scale Dromaeosaurus. Let's just do a couple of the ceratopsians. Here it is with the massive Pentaceratops, and here it is with the smaller Ionosaurus. And here it is with the massive 1/18 scale Tyrannosaurus Rex. And lastly, here it is with all of the Wave 2 Tyrannosaurs. We end up getting 7 figures in this wave. We've got Litternax, Striptosaurus, Sexy Tyrannus, Bistaherversa, here's the Procerat, Chinsusaurus, and Teratophonus. And all around, this wave has been absolutely spectacular. My all-time favorite from this wave is still the Bistaherversa. That is just an absolutely amazing looking figure. I'm thinking about maybe doing like ranking videos for each wave of the Beast of the Mesozoic. Maybe I'll start with this Tyrannosaur wave, since it's the newest thing on the block, and I'll just work my way back to wave 1 and all the ceratopsians and stuff, and just do some ranking videos. But yeah, all around, just Beast of Mesozoic is just like a dinosaur toy collector wet dream come true. Just large, highly detailed, beautifully painted, articulated dinosaur figures. It's just absolute pleasure every time I review a figure from this line. So final thoughts on Proceratosaurus. It's another great figure. Every figure in Beast of the Mesozoic has been absolutely fantastic. The really only critiques are some people just don't like some of the choices for the paint apps on them, but there's no denying that the sculpting and details on these figures are absolutely fantastic. Proceratosaurus is an absolute pleasure of a figure to mess around with. I always say these small Tyrannosaur figures are a great entry level to get into this series. You know, they're not super expensive, and they just offer a lot of play value. And they're 1/18 scale. You know, they mix in well. You know, if you're into collecting 3 3/4 inch figures, and even the Jurassic World line, they especially work well with the Hammond Collection. Like I said at the beginning of the review, you can order this figure from Creative Beast Studios. The link is down below in the description. So that will do it for the review. This is, you know, the last Tyrannosaur in Wave 2. Wave 3 is coming in a couple more months, and in a few more weeks, we have Cyberzoic starting. So another thing to absolutely nuke wall. It's a lot of awesome species in that. I'm kind of glad Dave is getting away from the families. I like to see a big variety that we're getting in Cyberzoic, and I can't wait to see what the future of Beasts in Mesozoic is going forward. Still got a bunch of stuff coming. I got some more PNSO figures, Holland Good. I got some Jurassic Park style Transformers I need to review, so there's a lot of reviews I have to catch up on the channel, so stay tuned for all that. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on the channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously. It's greatly appreciated, and I'll see you guys for the next one.